أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله تعالى على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today I want to tell you something about the different kinds of nafs. In the Holy Quran, we get information about 3 types of nafs. That means every human being is given 3 types of nafs at one and the same time. So, at every time, every human being has 3 types of nafs. The names of those nafs are nafs is self. Also, people call it soul, but we know soul is only one, and soul is something due to which a person is alive. But nafs is something else. It is like self, and there are 3 kinds of nafs. One is Nafs Ammaarah, second is Nafs Lawwama, and third is Nafs Mutmainnah. In this video, I will explain only Nafs Ammaarah, and in the 2, I will explain in the next videos. Nafs Ammaarah. This is a very bad nafs, as described in the Holy Quran, and also as described in the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Nafs Ammaarah is actually our worst enemy. Remember that on the day of judgment, Satan will say to man, "Don't blame me, blame yourself." Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Holy Quran that Allah has not given power to Satan to force a person to do sin. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had given power to Satan to force people to do sin, then Allah is very, very just. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would not punish man. But actually Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't give any power to Satan to force man to do sin. Rather, it is man who accepts the invitation of Satan. Satan only invites him and invites her to do sin. And the person accepts Satan's invitation with his and her own will. And the nafs which accepts this invitation is the Nafs Ammaarah. And we are supposed to control it. We must control it. From the Holy Quran, the proof of this nafs, as I told you, this is the worst enemy to us. Very bad. We must control it. We must press it. In Quran al-Kareem, in the Surah Yusuf, where the 13th juz starts, it is verse number 53. The words of Yusuf alayhi salam are revealed here. He said, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, وَمَا أُبَرِّئُ نَفْسِي إِنَّ النَّفْسَ لَأَمَّارَةٌ بِالسُّوءِ إِلَّا مَا رَحِمَ رَبِّي إِنَّ رَبِّي غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. These are the words of a prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the prophets were also human beings. They were just like us human beings, bashar. But they were very good, very pure, very sincere. And they controlled their Nafs Ammaarah. So here, Yusuf alayhi salam says, وَمَا أُبَرِّئُ نَفْسِي. I don't consider myself to be free, to be immune from this Nafs Ammaarah. I'm not immune from sin. Inna nafsa la ammaratun bisu'. Certainly Nafs Ammaarah incites the person to do evil. Nafs Ammaarah, it incites everyone to do evil things. Illa ma rahima rabbi, but only the one to whom Allah is merciful, my Lord is merciful, only that is saved. Inna rabbi ghafurur rahim, certainly my Lord is forgiving, merciful. So we must seek the refuge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from our Nafs Ammaarah, just like we seek the refuge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from shaitan. In the Holy Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us du'as to seek refuge of Allah from shaitan, the Satan. And also in ahadith we have du'as to protect ourselves, to seek the refuge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the mischief of our nafs. From Satan, we want refuge by praying to Allah, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, and also Ya Rabbi A'udhu bika min hamazati shayatini wa A'udhu bika Rabbi an yahdurun. While from Nafs Ammaarah, the Prophet ﷺ, he was told, rather he advised Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala anhu. He said to him, you should make the dua, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min sharri nafsi. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min sharri nafsi. Ya Allah, I seek your refuge from the mischief of my nafs. Also, there is another dua, Allahumma rahmataka arju, Ya Rabbi fala takilni ila nafsi tarafat ayan, wa aslih li sha'na kullahu la ilaha illa anta. Here the dua is, Allahumma rahmataka arju, Ya Allah, I have the hope of your mercy. Fala takilni ila nafsi tarafat ayan. So don't leave me for my nafs only for a moment equal to the blinking of the eyes. So that means if a person is left for his Nafs Ammaarah for a moment which is equal only to the blinking of the eyes, lots of trouble will be made. That means in this world, how much killing is done, how much bloodshed is done, dishonesty is done, thefts are committed. Whatever evil deed is done, these are all done due to Nafs Ammaarah. And therefore, the dua is that, Ya Allah, don't leave me for my nafs only for a moment which is equal to the blinking of the eyes. And Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min sharri nafsi. Ya Allah, I seek your refuge from the mischief of my nafs. And also, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min fitnati nafsi wa min sharri al-ghina wal-faqr. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika, Ya Allah, I seek your refuge from the fitna, the mischief of my nafs, and from the sharri ghina, that means the mischief of riches, lots of wealth, from the mischief of lots of wealth, wal faqr, and from the mischief, from the trouble of the poverty. All these things are dangerous, so we must seek the refuge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from it. There is another verse in Surah Al-Furqan, that is verse number 43, in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Ara'ayta man ittakhadha ilahahu hawah, afa anta takunu alayhi wakila. Have you seen the one who takes his God his own lust desire? So then, will you take responsibility to guide him right? Here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding us Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking, have you seen, have you considered a person who makes his lust desire his God? That means he follows his Nafs Ammaarah. He follows his lust desires. He has nothing else to do except that he only tries to achieve his desires, his lust desires, not good desires, his lust desires. And such a person is not trustable at all. No one can guide him right. No one can fix him right. And also, in the explanation of this ayah, there is a hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said this hadith is Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu related this hadith to us. He said that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, of all the false gods being worshipped and served instead of Allah, the worst in the sight of Allah is one's own lust. Of all the false gods being worshipped and served instead of Allah, the worst in the sight of Allah is one's own lust. And lust is this, the wish, the desire of this Nafs Ammaarah. Now someone may ask, why is this Nafs Ammaarah given to us when this is such a bad thing? I want to explain these things to you in the light of Quran and Hadith. Well, this video will be longer, but please listen to it. Please listen to it. And please like it. Actually, Allah has created us for a test. The main purpose of the creation of jinn and humankind is that we all must worship one God, Allah. The main purpose is to worship Allah. But then we are put in a test in this world. We have to worship Allah. We have to obey Allah's commands. We have to apply the commands of Allah on ourselves. But we have to do all these things about a God whom we have not seen. We have to believe in God unseen. We have to obey God's commands, God who is unseen. So this is a test. And then we must know that we can see God's greatness in the creation of God. Allah's one name is Al-Batin and one name is Al-Zahir. Al-Zahir comes first and Al-Batin comes later. Al-Zahirul Batin. Al-Zahir means manifest, the manifest. And Al-Batin means the hidden. Allah is hidden from us. Allah is unseen. But Allah is very Zahir from Allah's great creation. We can see the great power of Allah. All these things actually need explanation. If you try to understand the Holy Quran, you will understand everything. You have to see to everything with your open eyes. The signs are in front of us. Allah is very great, and we can see the greatness of Allah in the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah has put us in a test which is then not very hard. We have to believe in God unseen, and we have to obey the commands of God unseen. And we must worship Allah, and obedience to Allah is also a form of worship. Now, as we are in a test, Allah said, لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ أَيُّكُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا. Allah has created you so that, and Allah has given you the life and death so that Allah may test you who among you does good deeds. Now, the test is not very easy, If we were not given this Nafs Ammaarah, then we would be like angels. Then it would not be difficult to worship Allah. So it became difficult to us because we have Nafs Ammaarah. Now we have to control our nafs, to control our lust desires. We must take good desires And this controlling is in our hands. And of course, we must pray to Allah. Ya Allah, may you protect me from the shar, from the mischief of my nafs. Oh my Lord, may you protect me from the mischief of my nafs. And Allah is very kind. Allah accepts our prayers and responds to our prayers. But then, you know how this control comes. And I will tell you something about the activities of Nafs Ammaarah. In real sense, you know, it is also not given to us for bad purpose. For example, Nafs Ammaarah is related with the earning of wealth. Nafs Ammaarah is related with sex. Okay? Now, earning of wealth is very important. We need wealth. We need money for everything. But we are supposed to earn in the lawful way. We are not supposed to steal. We are not supposed to snatch people's rights and people's wealth. We are supposed to work hard and earn money in the right way. And then we must use this money according to the will and commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for necessities, for lawful necessities. We should not squander this money. We should not waste this money for the desires of Satan. So these are the things which we must control. Now Nafs Ammaarah is related with the earning of money. But Nafs Ammaarah accepts the invitation of Satan. Satan will like you to earn money in unlawful way and then squander money. Don't use it for the will of command of Allah. Don't use it for the pleasure of Allah. Don't give food to any orphan, to any poor person. Just take very, very expensive dresses for yourself, expensive houses, expensive car. Spend all this money on your own nafs. And then this nafs, you know, this is taking you to hell. So you have to control this nafs. You have to earn money in lawful way and then spend it on necessary lawful things. And then what you eat, also share your food with a faqir, with a poor person. Allah will be pleased with you. And you will win. And you will reject shaitan. But if you follow this Nafs Ammaarah, then you will be destroyed. Your akhirah will be, just Jahannam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. The second example I will give you, the attachment of this Nafs Ammaarah with sex. Now, sex desire is a very, very normal desire. It is like when a person doesn't eat food, becomes hungry. Hunger is an instinct. Sex desire is also an instinct. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us these things for certain good purpose. Sex desire is in adult life. Now, if we don't eat food, we will become sick, we will become weak, and we will die. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us instinct. Even a baby, a newborn baby, when she is hungry, starts crying. And then the mother feeds her. This is instinct. And this is very important for our life. Similarly, in adult life, the sex desire is very important to keep the race of human beings. But if you leave it to the Nafs Ammaarah, and as Nafs Ammaarah listens to Satan and says labbaik to Satan, accepts the invitations of Satan, then the person will go for unlawful sex, adultery, fornication, etc., etc. And then there will be no keeping of human race. You see how many abortions are happening, killing of innocent children even before their birth. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. This is all done due to Nafs Ammaarah. Because Satan cannot force us to do sin. So we have to control this nafs. In adult life, do marriage. That is the lawful way to fulfill sex desire. So these are the activities of Nafs Ammaarah. I try to explain it to you. I try to tell you about its dangers, especially the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You see the du'as to a person like Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu, such a great person. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam advised him, say dua, Allahumma inni a'udhu min sharri nafsi. Ya Allah, I seek your refuge from the mischief of my nafs. So we must also pray like this. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from the mischief of Nafs Ammaarah. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala take us to paradise. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from hell. And otherwise, on the day of judgment, Satan will be saying, I didn't force you. I couldn't force you to do evil deeds. You see, you read Surah Ibrahim. There you will find these words of Satan. On the day of judgment, Satan will say, فَلَا تَلُومُونِي وَلُومُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ. Don't blame me, blame your own nafs. وَلُومُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ. Blame your own nufus, your own nafs, your own self. Because I couldn't force you for sin. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from our Nafs Ammaarah. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from Satan. And inshallah, in the next videos, I will tell you about Nafs Lawama and Nafs مطمئنة. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد.